Hey people, it's Niles talking. This is from BBC News. John Magufuli, questions raised over missing Tanzania leader. Questions have been raised over the health of Tanzanian President John Magufuli, who has not been seen in public for 11 days. Opposition leader Tundu Lissu has told the BBC that according to his sources, the president is being treated in a hospital for coronavirus in Kenya. The BBC has not been able to verify this report independently. Mr. Magufuli has been faced criticism for his handling of COVID-19, with his government refusing to buy vaccines. The East African nation has not published its coronavirus cases since May. Yes, they refused to buy it, because many of the doctors who were developing it said that they were going to use Africa as a test site. Do you remember that? When French doctors were talking about how it would be great to test in Africa and nobody would care? That did happen, you know. Its 61-year-old president has called for prayers and herbal-infused steam therapy to counter the virus. Earlier this month, at a funeral for the top presidential aide, Mr. Magufuli said Tanzania had defeated COVID-19 last year and would win again this year. The aide died hours after the vice president of the country's semi-autonomous islands of Zanzibar was being treated for COVID-19. Mr. Lissu says he has told President Magufuli had been flown to Kenya for treatment at Nairobi Hospital on Monday night. According to opposition leader, the president has suffered a cardiac arrest and is in critical condition. There's been no official response from the government, which has warned against publishing unverified information about the Tanzanian leader, who was last seen at an official event in Dar es Salaam on 27 February. Nairobi Hospital also said it could not comment. Another Tanzanian politician told Associated Press on condition of anonymity for fear of backlash. They had spoken to people close to the president who said he was seriously ill and in hospital. Mr. Lissu told the BBC the government's silence was fueling rumors and was irresponsible. The president's health should not be a private matter. It would not be a surprise to Tanzanians that Mr. Magufuli had contracted coronavirus, as he had been reckless in the face of the virus, he said. He has never worn a mask. He has been going to mass public gatherings without taking any precautions that people are taking all around the world, Mr. Lissu told the BBC from exile in Belgium. This is someone who has repeatedly and publicly trashed established medicine. He's relied on prayers and herbal concoctions of unproven value. The 53-year-old alleged that Tanzania's finance minister Philip Mapanga was also being treated at the same hospital in Kenya's capital. Analysis by a leader Nafu, BBC Africa correspondent. It would be an explosive development if President Magufuli was confirmed to be suffering from COVID-19, the disease he has conspicuously spent months denying the threat from. It is worth reiterating there has not been any official response or comment on his condition or whereabouts. Aside from the potential implication for Tanzania's government if he is indeed seriously ill, for his critics, a diagnosis and treatment abroad will be proof of failed strategy towards the disease. How does that prove anything? It would only prove it if 1 million people had died because they had no treatment. One person out of a country does not prove anything. It could be because of this heart condition that they say he has, which has given him a heart attack. He might have been fine without the heart condition. Again, which is speculation. We don't actually know what is actually going on. In the absence of any official data, there is no way of knowing the true extent of coronavirus infections in Tanzania, but in recent weeks there has been an increased concern about a spike in cases. How can there be a spike in cases? We have no knowledge. There may be zero. If the president were to be among those recently infected, it would be a grim vindication for those who have been warning against ignoring the spread of the virus. A lot of people also confuse coronavirus with the flu because they both have similar symptoms. What if he's contracted the flu? What about that? Anyway, let's keep going. Mr. Lissu came second in presidential elections for the opposition Chadema party in October with 13% of the vote. Said he considered his rival's reputation to be in tatters. He's built a reputation as a patriot, that he doesn't travel outside the country, that he's a president for the poor, and he refused to do anything to ameliorate the situation in Tanzania by telling the people we are fine. Last week, the Catholic Church in Tanzania urged people to take COVID-19 precautions more seriously. If you're listening to the Catholic Church for moral guidance, then you really lost. Saying 60 nuns and 25 priests had died in the last 2 months after showing symptoms of coronavirus. Mr. Lissu first went to exile in 2017 after surviving an assassination attempt. He returned to take part in last year's polls, the results of which he says were rigged. He left the country again in November, saying he received more death threats. Anyway, I'm going to leave this and possibly more in the description. Considering the legacy of assassinations against African leaders, it's not surprising to find out that he's become ill or just suddenly disappeared for some reason, because he's not going along with the official line of the COVID program. Anyway, Please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.